Hello guys, let me check sound, just a sec. Alright, let's begin. New prediction for next week. Quick recap for last week. Basically I was bearish, so I wanted it to move a little bit down. You can see it here before the bounce. And it didn't. It opened with a gap up, want to close the gap and immediately move to the upside. It did the pattern I wanted, but not at the key point. So basically I was wrong. What I wanted is to move for the upside, create divergence for the downside, and again creating it, and then move for the downside. So let's see. If it will move down, you can say I was correct. If it will continue up and this is the low, this is the correction we had, you can move up. So this is what we need to examine and test to see what we're gonna have this week. You can say that we are still in a bearish. You can see the downtrend here, the red line moving down. You can see how it was the small tail. So rejection, also here rejection and pullback. So all the dynamic support resistance get met, and now we have to see if we gonna have a second pullback and much deeper pullback. From this stochastic, the test here is for short continuation. It did move down. So we got it, but the buyers were strong. So the buyers defending this zone. They defending the 5% and it pushed up. But what happened here? This is moving up, this is moving low. So they don't have power, which is not that good. So from this divergence, if we get below this one, we're gonna have a second pullback to bring more buyers. This key is the 5 or 550 if it's break below, if it's closed below. If you want to be a little bit more risky, just below this red candle, if it's open with a gap down, you can go with the trend. But at the moment, the momentum, you can see it cross the 50, pointing up, which is not that good. And if it's gonna make a green candle and resting, the trend can change again to the blue side for pushing for higher. Yeah, those are the keys. And what we get here, we still have no divergence for the short side. It needs to push a little bit higher, and then it can create a short continuation. If it moves here and then move for the downside, it will create a short continuation, which will be much stronger, I think, but not at the moment. If we go for the 1 hour, you can see a big gap here which didn't close, and there is too many gaps. So I don't know. Let's check it here. This is 95, 95, 60. So this is the highest, 95, 95. Yes, 95, 95. Again, also in smaller time frame, we have a small divergences. So we needed to cross the 50, becoming a little bit bearish. If you want to be in risk, you can take it here. If you want to be more safe, wait for the close below and below the 5 or 550 for the downside. Looking at it on the daily, you can see it broke it and it come immediately, got rejected, and now closed above. And you know what? See this. Let's take the horizontal line. See how it's resting here. Cross above, rejected, indecision, crossed above, rejected, crossed above, resting, resting, and breaking again. So it's kinda the 508 is now as a resistance. So if it managed to break above, It could mean a continuation and breaking all the high here, the 524. If it will come back inside, not that good, because it could be like you have a flag here. So you can have something like this. So if it's break below, it can continue to the second resting point, the support point. You have it here, the 480, I think. But at the moment, in the short term, it seems a little bit strong and it seems that it wants to continue. You know what? Let's continue and see what we've got. The Qs. Q is the same. You can see it here, almost touched, so it can push a little bit higher. There is no divergence also in the SPY because this is a break, this is a break, this is a break, this is a break. So it broke all the divergences, which means it used a lot of power to break a lot of key zone of support. And this is a profit taking probably. So be very careful about it. If we take from here for the upside, you see the 6180, it broke and moved immediately to the upside. All right, and again, we have to wait and see how it looks. If we go for the weekly to see on the bigger time frame, this is a big red candle inside, but the inside candle finish above the 50. So which the bars are strong. If we check it up here, this is 277, this is 730, so still no divergence. So it means if the buyers want to move in a strong and break the 450, they need to move a little bit more down and then pushing for the upside. Still, this is a big terrifying candle compare. You can see all those, you don't see something like this. Maybe something like it managed to push but got rejected and moved for the downside. So I know this is a green wick. I thought it will be much smaller and push a little bit from below and then come. And this what makes me worried because it means the buyer is still strong. They don't want to face a lower low. Again, if we, all right, I see this. If we take it from here, all right, let's clear it up. We can see the change in trend, which was lag compared to the S&P, and again it got face a rejection. But the trend started to change to positive. It's facing up, facing up. This is above the 50. Again, overbought here, which is positive. We look at it here. This is 89, 91. This is 91.53. So small divergence, so it could make another pullback, but I will wait for a close below this key zone and moving for the downside before I will enter short. The 435 is a perfect retest for resistance. Why? Because you can see it basically touching it, cross above, touching it again. This is the break. So this could be a nice retest. Moving for the upside, retest and resuming the trend, confirming the can move down and then make the break below the 50 and then continue lower with the trend. Doesn't mean that it can break the low. It can, but at the moment we need to wait for confirmation because again this is a gap and which need to be closed. It closed this gap, now probably gonna be lower. If we check the 1 hour chart, probably gonna see the same, we don't have a break in the trend for the downside yet. All right, this is the break of trend coming for the retest. Now it's down, down, down. We didn't break it yet. All right, you can call it a break because it already pushed up. So if it will push down, it will create something like this. But we have to be very careful if it's a false break. We don't have the confirmation. So if we gonna see it on the short time frame, if we're gonna see it something like this, resting here and then making a break, then we have a confirmation of the break. I guess people will wait for it to close the gap, moving a little bit lower and then resuming, but you have to be very careful of the resuming the downtrend. So far it seems a little bit bullish to come a little bit higher for taking some liquidity from the upside move. Let me clear it up. Let's make it on the daily. Push a little bit higher and then taking some liquidity and then pushing for the downside. So far it seems like a nice fall and want to resume the trend. We don't have confirmation of the trend resumed. If you already have small divergence, 55, 18, this is 57. So if it moves a little bit up, it will come down to retest again. So if the buyers are smart, they will not try to open green. They will try to stay a little bit and giving the divergence here, but resting in this and then trying to push for the upside. So something like this and then try to push for the upside. Something is coming here and then breaking. So let's move for IWM. IWM basically did the same move for the upside and resting, didn't touch the resistance yet, didn't create divergence yet. You can see it up from here, so it probably need to move a little bit higher, touching it, finish the divergence and then moving for the downside. If we go for the 4-hour chart, you can see it didn't touch, so probably a small push and resuming the downtrend. I think I talked about it. You can see it here. This is compared to this is a lower low and we have higher low. So this is a divergence for the upside, but small one, because if we take the retracement from here to the high, you can see it pushed below the 76. This is a bearish sign. So this is a bearish sign, and for Fibonacci technical analysis, and now it means it can push to the 201, the 50, even the 61, and then resuming the downtrend. So this is just a profit taking, resting here and try to push a little bit down. Be very careful, the trend didn't change for the longer term, so wait for it. If we check it on the 1-hour chart, you can see the downtrend. I don't know if you want to call it, it didn't break like the SPY and the Qs. The SPY and Qs make another high compare, so it didn't, so it's much weaker, so be very careful. It can do a small push and then get rejected. There is, you can see it here, there is a nice gap which need to be closed at the 206 area. You can see it where it is, 206. Don't see it on the 4-hour chart. This is it. This is a nice gap to be closed, 206 here. And then resuming. Can it be? Still don't know. I'll be very careful about going long, because despite the cues at the resistance, the IWM is very close to it. So I will wait for entering long. Will I enter short? Only if I get the signal, which I don't yet. Let's move on to Tesla. With Tesla, make a break for below and immediately push for the upside with the news. I don't see anything special about this news, but what's on the technical analysis, you can see it started to change the trend. Doesn't mean it can be a false, but it started. This is a big move. Will it close the gap? I don't know, but if it do so, it's a very great sign if it managed to close it. Give a sign for a bullish sign, like reversal sign, like a doji, and close the above and pushing for the upside. At the moment, you can see it easily here. This is a short continuation. But do we have any entry it? Let's check it up. This is 97.54. This is probably higher, 99, so no divergence. So if it make a small move down and trying to move higher and create a divergence, this won't be a good sign. I mean, moving for the downside for a retest. So I'm still bearish about Tesla, but I'm looking at it because there is a sign for a change in trend. This is a big move, and this big gap can cut a lot of people, all the short sellers or the bearish one, off guard, and can spike it up. Oh, you see the blue line. You know what? Let's show you. This was, I think, let's go for the 1 minute. All right. I took some trade on last Friday. Basically, the trade. All right, you can see it here. Green one, stop loss at the rest. So finish green here, stop loss. Edit here for the move for the break for this 166.50. I wanted to get out at the 60. It didn't give me it, so I stop loss here. I saw this trend. I don't trade with a trend, but I'm following it. But I get confirmation, so I enter short here, took small profit. But because this was a break of trend, you can see this is moving down, moving down, moving down. This is a break of trend. I took a quick profit here. I don't know if I should have stayed, and stop loss here. And this was a mistake. I entered short. I don't know why. I told myself don't enter, and I don't know, emotionally I pressed it for the move for the break of the 168, and basically I gave all the profit here I had in those three small scalping. I gave all the profit here. Yeah, it was, and then this was a revenge for a short scalp again, and this is why it was a mistake, because I told myself this was a break of trend. Break of trend coming to retest, don't enter unless it breaks the 168, and I wanted to for a retest. I don't know why. Basically, I didn't listen to the recording yet. I'm terrified to hear what I'm saying to myself. But yeah, it was a big loss. Took all my profit here. And I wanted to go long, but emotionally I didn't want to trade. And then you could see I pointed out the trend here. Let it follow and then see what happened. It broke it. And see where it touched my target zone. This is it. Yeah, this is life. So this is it. Let's get rid of the count. All right, so let's go for the daily. So this is the reason why I'm a little bit, you know what, let's move it. You saw it already. I'm a little bit still bearish because it's below the moving averages. So this is just, I don't know, profit taking, trying to spike it up. If it spike above the 180, I know a lot of bullish will come to it, closing gap here and try to push to the 200. My end zone, when it touched the 147, end zone is 188. And I still believe that it could bring it. But be very careful about this change of trend, because this change of trend could be something like this, which means this is a small moving to the upside and then can break to the downside and breaking and change the trend again to the downside. Okay, we talked enough about Tesla. Apple. Apple still bearish, still you can see the rejection, nice rejection here, close below. If we take it here, resting here, spike, use the red. So it could push a little bit here, but at the moment it gives a sign for a short continuation. You can see it here. And this is someplace here. So below this one, moving down, be very careful about area of support. Below the 165, it will fall down. Actually, must to say, it can push a little bit, but I will not enter long until I see a change in trend. Let's move on for the 1 hour chart. You can see it grinding. You can see the tail from below grinding. Sellers start to sell at the 170. You can see the big tail. You can see the break, false break, and resting. If it break below, resuming the downtrend. Right. What you know that there is here price action. So there is a nice liquidity zone here. I don't know if it's a buy or a short or a false break. So the buyers try, the sellers try to move the price up or and re-enter. So the sellers in the zone here. So be very careful with it. NVIDIA. You know what? Let's see it here. All right, this is the uptrend. Didn't break. This is the break. Retest. Now the downtrend. And this is a break again. So it could be a nice sideways move, a big one, which means this is a big distribution zone. Be very careful about it. If we take it here, 1, 2, this is low, yeah, 3. You have the 900, 920, a key zone for the ending, which is on the top here. You can see it here. So maybe another retest. So be very careful, but this will be a nice sign. 1, if it will come here, coming down, and what we have, reverse head and shoulders, moving for the upside for the 1000 and break. But so far, be very careful. It started to be a little bit bullish, which means it usually tend to retest, going for the retest. You can see it here, change in trend. It's moving down, so it needs a little bit more power and to be blue one. And do we have divergences? In the longer term, we have divergences, I think, with all of the stock. Yes. Small one. I think it will move down a little bit, taking some breath, and then move for the upside. Doing something. This is what I would do. Taking some breath and then move. Because if it just move up, it can create divergence, a big one. And then the sellers will attack. If the sellers see they miss the sell point, and bringing more buyers. What they know, more buyers, and now more buyers. So they have enough liquidity to buy all the selling and then pushing for the up and taking all the stop losses. So I think the buyers, if they will be smart, moving a little bit down and then trying to attack again. Not immediately try to push to up, but anything can happen. If we look at it on the daily, you can see it big red and immediately up. So what we had in the SPY, we had resting. What we had in the Q, resting, IWM resting, and NVIDIA and the semiconductor area, it's a break, big break. All right, so you know where the money is. But again, be very careful. You can go from here to there. You can see it can touch the 6180 and then resuming the downtrend. So be very careful. We are still in an uptrend. This is a false break at the moment. Didn't change the color, so I'm still positive about the semiconductor and NVIDIA, but be very careful. Most of the stock are near support and near resistance. This is why I want to go long. Meta. Oh my god. Managed to close? No, not a good sign. Why there is a lot of buy, a lot of stop losses, and also some opportunity to buy in cheap, guys. From 500 to let's say 450. This is 420. This is a nice offering. So this is the main reason why. But now also you can see the change in trend which happened here. This is a big down, any move for the downside with great divergence for the upside. So now we need to hold the 400. I don't know if you can push a little bit more down. At the moment it seems a little bit, it wants to continue a little bit higher and then find some power to bring more buyers. At the moment this doesn't look that good. You can see it here. Trend up, small breaks, retest, false break to the upside, taking in a lot of buyers and then moving them out. This is the reason why a lot of buyers went for the continuation and put stop loss there, and probably end of the stop loss here, and when it opened with a gap down, immediately it got sold off. This is a big volume with all the bars coming by and taking all the orders. So be very cautious about this move. This is a falling knife. Be very cautious about it. What else? mRNA. mRNA is holding, I think. Yes, mRNA, you can see it holding, and you have the zone basically. Let's see a close above 115 for the move for the 180. Let's see a close below the 100 to see moving down again. You can see how it looks. So this is nice look for both sides, guys. Longer the base, higher into space, but it can go down into the abyss. So you have key zone. You see the resistance. What if managed to break here? It immediately can take out with a spike up lots of zone and maybe hit the 140. And you also have a nice trend. Let's draw it more. You have a nice trend here. You see it resting it. So this is a good sign for the move up, but see if it manage to hold it. All right. If we go for the 1 hour chart, let's clear it. What we have here, I don't know. There is a divergence for the upside. You can go. This is going down. This is going up, and it went up but it came too high. So probably we try to do something like this in order to break it, because it will be difficult to break the 112 in going in a straight line. So it needs some resting in order to attack again the 112 for the break. It needs to bring more buyers. BA. BA, I don't know. BA is still down, nothing much to say. Basically, buyers are taking, well, this was, I think, it correct prediction. The one coming back from the 160, touch the 160. Still in a downtrend, nothing much to say. Even if it will go up, I will still be bearish because I want to see a clear sign of the bull coming. You can see this is a open up, immediately crash down. Not that good. So sellers basically will sell at any point. All right, I know there is a gap up, big, huge gaps, but still the sellers still taking their profit. What you can see, let's check it. This is 131, probably this is a bit low. 140, no, 40, yes, 131. This is higher low, this is lower low. So they're losing the strength. The seller is losing the strength. It doesn't mean you should enter right now. You need confirmation. It started to be positive. It didn't break the 50 or attacking it for a small maybe change. You don't have a break of trend yet. You want to see how it reacts to this area. You can see this area and breaking the moving averages here for going for the upside. I will wait. Maybe for the 15 minutes, 5 minutes, you can find more entry point for a short scalp in the intraday. Gold. Gold basically did its move, now resting, now resting. So moving from down, bring more buyers in order to continue its run. It could take some time. Momentum is still positive. You can check it here. It's resting on the blue. The blue didn't change its trend. Some changing it, but no divergences. And now the big here, you can see it's already create divergences. So even if it will rest a little bit more, and it can give a sign for moving for the upside. If you take it up, let's say from here. Oh, I didn't. Come on, there. You have the zone for continuation. Probably a lot of people wait, put some stop losses above the 212, 210. Started to be a little bit bearish, be very careful about it. But it's still very strong, so any pullback will bring buyers, guys. And you have the Fibonacci level. Nothing much to say, still strong, still a good opportunity to have. Will it reach to the 300? People say it will in about 1 year, 2 years, but I don't know. Silver, I think did the same move. Yeah, same move. Big gaps, but usually on the silver there is gaps. Could close it. You can see the big volume, so we know where the sellers are. You have the divergence here. You can see it here. Lower low, higher low. Closed above this one, moving for the close, and even continue higher. Oxy, I didn't talk about Oxy last week, but basically we moved mid the oil, move down a little bit, resting, create divergence for the upside. Nothing much to say. You can be bullish about it, even with some taking profit here from the 70 in Oxy. If we take it up here, you can see it, even with this big move down, it holds. The blue line holds. So if it managed to break here, can do another push. There is a divergence for the upside, so be very careful moving for the upside. There is still some small pullback it needs to do. You can see it here. This is higher high, this is lower high, so another pullback. Probably it know a lot of stop losses here. Usually try to spike them down and then move for the upside. You can see small volume, so the bar is still not interested, making a lot of effort. Be very careful about it. in the long term, I think it will move a little bit more to the upside. In this week, could be a sideways move. If the buyers will try to push higher, I think the sellers are still in control and need to sell a little bit more from this 70 zone. I think we finished, guys. Yes, so let's sum it up. So last week, a little bit wrong. The movement was correct, but the key zone didn't hit. So most of SPY, Qs, lots of stocks are in a close or in a resistance level. So you have to wait and see what they want to do. The trend change, some starting to put a change in trend. So it could be an indecision week between all the market. So another market rotation. The money are still in the gold, still in the oil, still in commodities, starting to re-enter for the semiconductor. We see the move in NVIDIA. And this means that the Qs can lead, but at the moment, I will be waiting for a key confirmation, which we saw below here, above here for continuation, taking small. And if you miss to buy this, don't, because if it continue, you're still in a big profit and you just didn't bought here. So if you buying in the break for the upside, although I don't like to buy in the breaks, it could do a small and then you have just confirmation of moving for the upside. If it's just moving for the downside here, there you go. You have a confirmation if you want to buy again, but just know that it could push a little bit or another 5% for the downside. At the moment, if the SPY it's in as I told, in a resistance point, if it continued breaking the 510 and closed above, guys, it can do a small pullback, but then it can break the 525. And I think the sellers know that. If the seller don't give now here the push, and it break the 510 and close above, it can push for the upside because there is no much sellers there. Next target will be the 515, the 516, and then if it's close above, another small pullback and a break for the 525. In the Qs, there is more room to move. The Qs can move to the 440 again. This is the key area for retesting. And from the 440, it can resume. All right, guys, because the Qs is a little bit more volatile than the SPY. And if the sellers want to take control, the 435 and the 440 in this between those, they will try to show some action. This is it, guys. Hope it gives you some insight what could be, what is happening. Be very careful. I'm still a little bit bearish because I don't have a key sign for continuation. I see small divergences and maybe just trying to bear trap. If the bull was smart, basically did a move for the downside, they disappears, the sellers left alone, and immediately the bulls trap all the short sellers here and just pushing for the upside. It could be because there's still lots of money outside in the market. So this is it, guys. Hope you like it, and be very careful and do your own due diligence before you enter any trade. The risk is on you. Bye bye.